welcome back to phase 4. I told you this was going to be fun. Now we have an official solo. Pretty good challenges in this solo, and it's built entirely around chord tones and minor pentatonic stuff. So the basic idea is finally coming to light here. So I'm going to zoom up and we're going to tackle this piece by piece and talk a little bit about fingerings, technique, and how we're going to approach this to make it really sing. So here we go. Welcome back. So we're going to take our solo here and break it down lick by lick and talk a little bit about what the chords are involved. So our very first lick is built around a baby A chord. And so the way you're going to approach this is first finger, 5th fret of the G string, very quick grace note hammer on with the middle finger, 5th fret, 5th fret, little finger roll with the first finger. Okay, next lick. Sorry, that's a grace note. Now what that is, remember the music switched to a D chord. So that's kind of like your D chord. Slight bend is your first note, 8th fret, high string. So when you do that bend, make sure to control it. Put all your fingers behind your pinky on the same string. Even though it's a slight bend, you want to be able to control it. Just push very lightly. And then you resolve with your first finger already at the 5th fret. And then follow it down, 8th fret, 7th fret G string. Similar hammer-on trick from the beginning. 5th fret to 6th fret with the middle finger. Landing on your A note, so it's so if you line up your D chord, your D7, and your D triad, you're messing around with quite a few notes in there. Everything but that note there, which is just a pentatonic note. And then hammer on, that little bit there is actually your A lick because you're going back to an A chord. So the lick itself is a lick that leads from D back to A. Now if you continue through to the next lick, that little section there is really pretty much just fooling around with your A note up here over the A chord. You're there the whole time. You go on to flat 7, which is out of the kind of like your A7 chord. And then you're going to use, so pinky gets that, the 8th fret. You're going to slide with your 3rd finger from 7 to 8 for the rest of it. Don't shift your hand, keep your hand in the same position and just find a nice comfortable way. Don't anchor the 1st finger either. Just keep the thumb and the grip anchored. Or in other words, you're pushing from the thumb. Your hand's moving a little bit, but your thumb is anchored, sort of. And you tackle it that way. So the whole lick there is then you're going to follow it down. So it's pinky, 1st fret, 1st finger, roll with the 1st finger, and then you land on your D note right as you land on your D chord. So it's A chord, so these notes kind of, the licks kind of share the ending note. The ending note usually becomes the beginning note of the following lick. So you have your D note, and now you're just pulling it right out of the little D triad that we know. So it's 7, 6 hammer to 7, grace note hammer, 5th fret. Okay. Okay, so then we're right back to the original D to A lick. With a little bit of an ender on there. So after you land here, you just tap the A, and then you're doing the same idea, but you're gonna slide with your middle finger 5 to 6, G string, back home to A. So you're really playing around with that top A note. So D lick, tap it, slide back. So you're still playing around with that original A triad shape. Then you need to shift up to your E. And the way the lick sounds is... So we're kind of avoiding the second string, just like the previous A lick. You're going to slide from 8 to 9, third finger slide, G string, 7th fret note, high string, and you just alternate between those two notes out of the E triad. And then we got the same lick at the end. The only difference is we're not going to do a grace note hammer. We're actually going to enjoy it. So it's... So if I back it up a little bit, we got... And then our turnaround is kind of a nifty little interval of a sixth, which is a nice chord. And the way you got to tackle this is first finger's on the G string, 7th fret, should be getting that note. Third finger's on the 9th fret of the A string. And you have to play this with sort of a closed grip, kind of tilted with the fingers, to where you can strum this instead of picking it. So you strum through, and you receive a dead E string, play your A string, dead D string, and you get your G note. And the top two are also muted, so you can play it that way. And you can strum, and you just kind of walk up. You go 7, 8, 9. Or you can slide it too, but after the first hit, which is kind of nice too.